The diplomatic chamber stretched vast and imposing, a massive amphitheater designed to accommodate 12 distinct galactic civilizations. Holographic interfaces hummed with soft energy, translating languages and cultural nuances in real time. Soft ambient lighting reflected off the polished surfaces, creating an illusion of calm that belied the tension brewing beneath. Representatives from across the known galaxy assembled, their forms as diverse as the cosmos itself. Crystalline beings with fractal edges, gaseous entities contained in precise environmental suits, silicon-based life forms that pulsed with internal light, each species unique, each with its own complex history of interstellar interactions. And then there were the humans. Admiral Jack Miller stood at the central podium, a study in calculated restraint. His crisp military uniform stood in sharp contrast to the flowing robes and biomechanical interfaces surrounding him. Where other species displayed elaborate emotional responses through color shifts, complex appendage movements, or chemical releases, Miller presented something far more unnerving: absolute control. The Trilaxian Council Chair, a being composed of interconnected crystalline structures that shifted and realigned with emotional states, noticed the change immediately. Humans had always been known as the diplomats of the galaxy, masters of negotiation, champions of peaceful resolution. But today, something fundamental had shifted. Gone was the characteristic diplomatic smile. Gone was the carefully measured language designed to smooth over tensions. In its place was an expression of cold, calculated determination that sent ripples of unease through the assembled representatives. Distinguished members of the Galactic Council, Miller began, his voice carrying a precision that cut through the chamber like a laser. We are here to discuss the recent systematic violations by the Void Collective in neutral research and exploration zones. Holographic displays flickered to life, painting a comprehensive picture of the Void Collective's aggressive expansionism. Small provocations, strategic probes into territories protected by intricate galactic trees. Most species had responded with diplomatic protests, strongly worded communications, and carefully negotiated economic sanctions. The human delegation had a different approach. The displays revealed a series of strategic interventions that made even the most militaristic council members pause. Where other civilizations would have filed complaints and formed committees, humans had systematically dismantled the Void Collective's forward bases, not with overwhelming force, but with surgical precision that bordered on mathematical perfection. Each intervention was a masterpiece of tactical engineering. Communication networks disrupted without physical damage, supply lines surgically interrupted, defense systems neutralized with minimal collateral impact. It was less an act of war and more a demonstration of absolute technological superiority. We have determined, Miller continued, his tone clinical and detached, that diplomatic channels have been exhausted. The Void Collective understands only one language, and we are now fluent in its dialect. The Krovan representative, a massive tentacled being that typically communicated through elaborate chemical exchanges, shifted uncomfortably. Its translation matrix struggled to capture the nuanced threat in Miller's statement. Detailed reports cascaded across the chamber's displays, intelligence gathering that showed not just military actions, but a comprehensive understanding of the Void Collective's entire strategic ecosystem. Economic pressures, communication disruptions, precise, calculated interventions designed to send an unmistakable message. Wait, interrupted the Trilaxian chair, its crystalline form pulsing with an alarmed blue-green hue. Are you suggesting unilateral military action outside of established council protocols? Miller's response was not a smile. It was the kind of expression predators might recognize: calculated, patient, utterly devoid of mercy. A look that suggested multiple strategic options had been meticulously evaluated and a precise course of action selected. We are suggesting, he said carefully, each word measured and deliberate, that some threats require immediate and decisive action. The Council has debated. The Void Collective has invaded. We have responded. Diplomatic protocols, those delicate webs of negotiation and compromise that had maintained galactic peace for centuries, suddenly felt as fragile as spun glass. The humans had always been the ones advocating for discussion, for understanding. They brought cultural exchange programs. They mediated conflicts. They sought peaceful resolutions. But something fundamental had changed. The holographic displays continued to show a clinical breakdown of human interventions, mathematical precision, strategic perfection. The Void Collective's military infrastructure had been dismantled with a cold efficiency that spoke of something deeper than traditional warfare. This was not aggression. This was a message. The Void Collective will receive one communication, Miller stated, his tone making it clear this was not a suggestion but a declaration. Cease all unauthorized territorial expansions, or face complete systemic dismantling of your civilization's infrastructure. No threats of invasion, no promises of indiscriminate destruction, just a calm, matter-of-fact statement of consequences. The council chamber buzzed with a mixture of shock, fear, and for some of the more pragmatic species, a grudging respect. The humans had just redefined diplomatic engagement. They had shown that their previous approach of patience and negotiation was a choice, not a limitation. As Miller concluded his address, the Trilaxian chair realized something profound. Humanity's polite mode was not a weakness. It was a carefully maintained option, one they could disable the moment diplomacy ceased to be effective. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. Peaceful, diplomatic, capable of surgical, precise action when pushed. No longer would anyone mistake their politeness for passivity. The message was clear: negotiate in good faith or face the consequences.